Welcome to our first video of 2026. Mario Kart World has been out for 7 months now, and this game has proven to be the most creatively rewarding game in the entire series. So let's see some of the craziest shortcuts and optimizations that have taken place over 2025. And here's to another incredible year of Mario Kart World. So it's been 7 months since the game came out. We will be comparing to times from 4 months ago. So this is Logan on Mario Bros. Circuit, and in the last 3 months, this track has only improved by 0.05 seconds, about 3 frames. That's how optimized these are getting at this point. Not every track is like this, some have had big improvements, but this is one of the ones that is just getting very, very optimized. And, players are getting very skilled at this track, so maybe a new discovery gets made at some point that breaks this track open, but the players who are currently running this track are going to immediately snatch that with an insane time as well, because they're just so good at the regular driving. So, like, hopping onto that rail there, doing all the wall stuff, which I didn't even mention a moment ago, because that stuff was done last time as well. But watch this. So we have the charge jump here, and then straight onto the wall for extra boost and a good line, because you can't do extra rail tricks right there, right? You'll just fall off the rail. Unlike here, where you can do a bunch of extra tricks here, including going then onto the wall. I don't even know what's going on. I've seen that several times now. I have no clue what's happening. But yeah, this is not the glitch category. So the record has been faster before by about half a second. In fact, I have those ghosts saved on my Switch still, but they're no longer on the online leaderboards because obviously, thanks Nintendo, they took them down. Like, actual thanks Nintendo, that's a good thing they did. Yeah, so what you'll notice in a lot of these records that have a lot of rails or walls, usually a lot of rails, is that the slow combos, like Nabbit and Robhog, are actually very, very good. And it's partially because on rails or walls, including right here on the wall, on rails and walls, every combo moves at the same speed, except that slow combos actually have a better coin curve, which means unless you get to 20 coins, slow combos are literally faster. Like, the speed stat's lying to you. It's the opposite. Slow combos are literally faster on walls and rails. So, yeah, that's part of why this relatively slower combo is actually very strong on this track. Crown City by Pluto. Pluto City, the goats of Crown City. And I made a whole video about the glitch category. Very, very exciting stuff. It's crazy that the first 2 tracks that got broken in this game are the first 2 tracks in this game. And it's since been patched, so it was a great, exciting story, but now Pluto is back to regular Crown City. Did not cheese the world record. Pluto is just the best player on this track. Look at that. We get more exciting strategies when it's not the glitch category, and you're not waiting 21 hours just to play one run, and if you fail, you restart. I actually learned a bit more about this speedrun since I tried to do the glitch category myself just a little bit. This shortcut I still haven't learned, though. That is crazy to me. And then here, we go for the car for coins. Watch the coin count here. Very, very important. So here we're going for a few coins and then getting this boosted charge jump onto this car, which gives another coin, and that gives a long trick boost. So I'm going to talk a bit about the mechanics of this game, just so if you go back and watch that section, you're going to understand what you're actually seeing. So most tricks in this game off of rails, they actually give you a shorter trick boost than usual. And you'll see what's happening a lot of the time during that section is we're charging charge jumps while in a speed boost. But the amount of time it takes to charge a charge jump, like right there, is about the same amount of time as a trick boost lasts for. And you can actually use the charge jump to carry the speed from the trick boost and make you go faster through that charge jump. And usually charge jumps are slow, but this is one instance where it's actually faster. However, rail tricks usually don't help with that, because they don't last long enough. However, if you rail trick into a pole or onto a car bounce, like right here, onto a pole, that tree's a pole, we get a longer trick boost, and then we can go like a boosted charge jump into that part of the finish line. All right, I love this sequence of shortcuts. Regular mushroom, but then mushroom hop and trick into the tree to barely get that trick boost to come out. No boosted charge jump here because we have to wait just a little bit. But yeah, like this track with the car cycles, it's such an interesting watch with how optimized these boosted charge jumps are. This one too. See, carrying that trick boost into the pole there. Amazing stuff. Congrats on this record, and Pluto actually left a comment on my Wario Stadium record before even watching the video, saying the video was so good it made him faster at Crown City. Well, it wasn't a great joke, but it works, Pluto. I saw your comment. I love this one. So, Whistlestop Summit by Dot, or Jorge, the best player on this track. And this is about 0.9 seconds faster than 3 months ago, which is insane for how optimized it already was. And this run is 1.3 seconds faster than the second fastest player. That is insanity. And I can see why. This track is like, it's so unbelievably difficult to run because, like, look at this. Watch this little wall clip to barely turn around and get on the rail to get your speed boost back. That must save like about a full second, and it's very hard to get. And then this is a brand new strategy for the ending shortcut. Yeah, a lot of really tough stuff here. So that ending shortcut path was actually found by Frel in the Mario Kart World Discord server, and the day that was discovered, me and a bunch of people in the Short family, you know, my YouTube members, we tried to find the most consistent way to do that. And so I have a tutorial on that, or I will soon. I don't know what order the videos are coming out, but that is so important to learn. Just some variation of this. Oh, and we're doing a long trick boost off that yellow pipe. I'll talk about it in a moment. But yeah, this, I can't tell, like, for world record purposes, what's more consistent, this or the old strategy. I imagine this might be really consistent too, but yeah, the ending shortcut, just for regular online play, if you want to just make it as often as you can, it used to be like 70% if you're really good. Now it's nearly 100%, so this track just got really fun online. And this strategy with the shortcut into this is like unbelievably inconsistent, especially to hit that part. Then here, if you trick off the very tip of the rail there, like after you're past the end of the rail, then it gives you a long trick boost on the ground. And this is a really fast way to take the ending shortcuts. This is unbelievably impressive. Wow! The end of that rail, like an extra trick onto the end of the rail to then fly up onto the wall. That ending sequence keeps changing somehow, and it's cooler every single time. DK Spaceport by Mirai. This has improved by about 0.4 seconds compared to the last time we looked at it. And I actually was following the developments on this track a little bit, just watching, and oh, we got rid of a shortcut? I didn't realize that. There used to be a shortcut behind that wall. We got rid of it? Huh. I think I heard a bit about this, actually. I think I heard that saves very little time, but I thought the world record would at least have it. So yeah, we skipped the shortcut here for 3 coins, but because we are a speed combo, a lot of the coin count benefits, because of the coin curve, it comes from the last few coins. So we have to make sure we get 2 coins every single time there. And then now I think we'll start taking shortcuts inside the fire. Do not risk that online. If somebody gets hit in the shortcut, they will bump you off. It's just not worth it. Boosted charge jumps. Last time, we talked a lot about boosted charge jumps. So another benefit there on the very last trick is that the charge jump boost lets you carry a boost into the air. And that is very powerful because the moment you get into the air, you start decelerating. And then another shortcut right here. And see, we've run out of mushrooms, but I saw this in a recent world record. So this is not my first time seeing... It's my first time seeing this record, but not my first time seeing what's going on here. There's going to be something really cool right here. Edge trick, edge trick, edge trick onto the wall. Get an orange boost on the wall. And that road at the end is barely wide enough to make room for your vehicle to land back on. This is some crazy stuff. I love the ending of that, but the fact that it's the end must be so toxic for time trials. Desert Hills by Jacob. This has improved by about a full second in the last 3 months. I actually have not taken a look at this, but were we Daisy before? Oh, a counter slide? We're playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe now? Oh man, I'm excited for the drifting in this game to get really good. Boosted charge jump onto here. How did they not think of that before? What? Okay, so we're also using Wario now. Like, how is this going to affect the ending here? Oh, you can trick onto that! That used to be a charge jump, right? And then a little wall detach for some extra speed there. That's insane. Insane stuff. I've just recently gotten a lot better at Desert Hills for online play, trying to make a lot of the strategies more consistent. But yeah, we're skipping these 2 coins here. Okay, interesting. Hit a bit of off-road. What? Boosted charge jump. Yep. And then that lets you carry the speed boost into the air. Wait, where did we use the first mushroom? Did I miss it? Oh, no. We used... Okay. We're doing that shroomless too. That's crazy. And then this one, we're using all the strategies. So this, the last 2 you just saw, is like very online strategies. They're very important if you want to front run this track online. I did not expect to start seeing them in world records because the mushroom gets used at a crazy spot on lap 1. I just remembered. So lap 1 does the next shortcut plus the final shortcut with the mushroom because we were grabbing coins. And another benefit of a speed combo like Wario is you don't need to grab that many coins to get a big benefit. But yeah, we trick on that little bump there. That's interesting. Even with the lower handling of Wario, the strategy, insane drive off the little divider rail. Oh, that scares me just thinking about going for that at the end of lap 3. Shy Guy Bazaar by this Japanese player. Sorry, I still can't pronounce it. We're working on that. So this is improved by about 0.15 seconds. I'm curious where the... Oh, I remember this! Yeah! I don't remember if that was in the last world record reaction. I think I did see it, but I've realized that it's probably too risky to be going for that online with the tiny time save that it gives. Okay, so we did a mini turbo into a charge jump there. I would be getting a lot more hyped for that strategy if I wasn't already doing that online. So a lot of these strategies, if you just got the game and you're seeing these for the first time, I will freak out about the new ones, but I will not freak out about the ones that are way cooler. It's just I've seen them. I've been seeing them for the past long time. So yeah, a lot of these are even viable online as well. And like this, I don't think that is those extra tricks. I don't think it's worth risking that. That's something you don't really learn in time trials. Is you don't learn all the strategies, and you don't learn how risky the strategies are, because you just watch someone get them every single time. So yeah, that's a very interesting thing about time trials. Actually, I did want to mention about Desert Hills, because I thought the Desert Hills one was so cool, because basically, like in a routing sense of when do you get coins, what combo do you pick, like which combination of shortcuts do you go for, because as you can see from the Desert Hills shortcut, unlike something like Shy Guy Bazaar, which is obviously very impressive as well, but we see the same strategies every single lap pretty much here. Whereas in Desert Hills, we saw a ton of different strategies, and that's the really cool thing about this game is there's so many different routes, so many different ways you can do shortcuts depending on what items you have. And time trials, it's really just a question of like what is the fastest route you can take for 3 laps, with the restriction of like you get 3 mushrooms and the coins don't respawn. But in a real race, things can look very different. And I love the skill expression of online play and time trials because they each express very different varieties of skills. Wario Stadium by this Japanese player, Nugget. I know this one. And this one has improved by about half a second. I think I remember seeing some sort of improvement and I've totally forgotten. Oh yeah, the charge jump. Why is that faster? I don't know. Oh right, it's for the extra coin. Oh yeah, check this out. So this combo currently, it's a slow combo, so the coin curve really favors the first few coins. And look, we're at 1 coin, and just watch how long we stay at 1 coin for. Oh, we're going up here now, right. Oh, we've been doing this for a while. Sorry, I totally forgot. Yeah, and then finally got the second coin. So 1 coin gives a massive, massive boost for this combo, for any slow combo, really. And getting that first coin is just such a huge deal. So to get that way earlier by doing the charge jump, I imagine that charge jump is slower. Like, there's no way we're doing this on lap 2 and 3. That looks really slow. But just having that 1 extra coin, yeah, we're completely avoiding that path now. Having that 1 extra coin so early and not being able to get any more soon, that's probably like one of the biggest improvements for why that charge jump is there. Now, I'm going to be really embarrassed if you call me out and say that that charge jump has been there for the past 3 months already. And then I did react to it last time. I don't know. I don't always remember these things, okay? I take the knowledge I need for online play. This as well. Like, to go on that side thing, it's really, really close to out of bounds, but you can even get a boost panel boost there. I don't know why the world record doesn't get that. I can do that most of the time. But when I slightly mess it up, I go out of bounds and lose my item, and it's just horrible. So I still don't go for that online because the time save is very small. But yeah, that's the sort of thing my brain thinks about. But it's very fun to watch the time trials once in a while. And lap 3 is the most difficult lap because you can't tell in this ghost replay, but the coin in this shortcut is about to be gone. So the one right here. So we're going to see a wiggle at the top probably. Yeah, see that wobble? That means you were like a frame away from not attaching to that rail and falling off on the wall. So yeah, really, really clean run. I love that coin optimization at the start. Very important for lightweight combos in time trials especially. But not online, because if you do anything slightly off, you will get bumped off and it's just not worth it. Airship Fortress by Lego Wee Man. This was only about 0.1 seconds slower the last time I looked at it. So very, very small optimizations. I want to see if I can catch it, but I'm going to say I'm probably not going to notice what the difference is. Oh, the wall detach? Wait, I already noticed one difference. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I found it. I found the difference. Oh, a little hop before... Huh. I might have to watch that back. But, oh, a trick there. What? I know we're hopping there. I didn't know you could trick there. Okay, so the little hop before... I wonder if we're going to do it again on the next lap. But the little hop before getting the trick boost actually delays when that trick boost comes out. So, yeah, that strategy, love that. So I wonder if that's to get the charge jump to, like, go through a coin or something, and then that makes it go a little faster. Interesting. Stuff that I never think about. Oh, we're tricking off of... What? Okay. Yeah, another hop right there as well. Yeah, I wonder if that has to do with the coins to delay that boost a little bit. And another trick there, huh? I wonder how that's being consistent. All this stuff. I think I saw... I don't know. I saw at least 4 different things now compared to before. Maybe 3 different things. And we're still only saving 0.1 second. Like, that's the brutality of time trials. You can discover multiple new things, but they may each only save like a frame each. And they massively reduce consistency once you try to string them all together. And all that to piece together one run. And okay, lap 3 is different, right? Because we don't need coins here. And we trick off the very, very end of that rail in order to get the longer trick boost. Yes, that. There was no trick before there. I don't know how you're getting that trick. I'm on to your tricks. And another really important thing is hitting that wall. If you hit that wall in just the right way... Oh, I forgot to mention, also on Guy Bazaar, there's a sharp turn. There's actually 2 sharp turns on Airship, where you have to hit a wall very specifically, and it helps you take the turn faster. DK Pass by Polaris. This is only faster than the old record by about 0.1 seconds. So I'm curious if there are any new techniques, or if it's just cleaner driving. Although, I don't know, I feel like usually it's something new. Even if it's very, very small, like we saw on Airship Fortress. There's actually several new things on Airship Fortress, and it barely saved any time. Okay, wow, that's such a clean jump off of that. I love this track. There's so much awesome tech on this track, and it's just really, really fun to play online. So we got this tree shortcut right here. And then one thing you may not notice, how we get such a good line into the snow shortcut right here. One thing you may not notice I want you to pay attention to on the next lap is right before hitting the first tree and getting that trick, they actually do a left air trick. I don't know if I can even spot it. I'm not even 100% confident, but like that's what I do, and that's something that really helped me, is being able to do that left air trick to get a better alignment. Otherwise, you steer too far right around the trees. Yeah, that's such a risky way to do that cut. It's so fast, but you like barely avoid the rail and wall and then barely get past the signs. But let's watch this here. See if I can see the left air trick. Yeah, if you... Okay. I don't know if I was talking during that section, but you may have been able to barely hear 2 trick animations in a row in extremely quick succession. And here, drift into the off-road a bit before using the mushroom. Another thing there is hitting the wall. That's like another thing that is just very common in this game. If you hit a wall at a very good angle, it's quite lenient, but you have to be specific with it. If you hit it at a favorable angle, then it will actually help you take turns better. Whereas in most other games, like in Mario Kart Wii, it would stop you completely. In Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, it would bump you to the side, which is really bad. Okay, let's watch this again. I'm not sure if the second tree also had an extra left trick, but if you're able to get the extra left trick right before each tree, then that really helps with the alignment through that shortcut. And then here, orange mini turbo, I assume. Yep, because the track is ending. Barely sub 2 minutes. Incredible. Starview Peak by Wood22. This is improved by about 0.1 seconds only, so a lot of these runs are getting really optimized, but this is one of my favorite time trials, and it's also one of the ones that differs the most between the online time trial strategy and how I would... Sorry, between the time trial strategy and how I would race this online in terms of my online strategy. So here, we're going to go for a coin and then mushroom through here. Barely get that rainbow mini turbo. That helps so much in this glider. I don't know why. It's like incredibly fast to get that in the glider. And then we're going for the shroomless shortcut. Boosted charge jump, trick off there, and then... Man, the physics going from the shortcut onto the rail. Charging a mini turbo here too. That's crazy. Going from that shortcut section to the rail, the physics are really weird. Like you fall really slow and you can turn really fast in the air. So after I tried to do the feather shortcut a lot here, it really makes sense why the the shroomless shortcut works, but like hitting that tiny bit of jagged wall is insane. I wonder if there will ever be a setup that is like perfectly consistent for online, but this is just crazy stuff. That would make this track so different online if you can constantly go for the shroomless without any fear of failure. I mean, technically, if you can't do this, it is a skill issue, but like, there are certain things that you cannot expect a human to be able to do consistently. Some things are just difficult. Some things are literally impossible for a human to do reliably, no matter how good you are. So yeah, and then this combo too. We're playing Cow on the Real Racer. The Real Racer is very fast in water and ground and terrain. I believe this icy section is terrain. But another reason why we want the Real Racer, and even Cow has a terrain speed boost. That's because I don't know why. I guess it's because it's icy, but the like yellowish section on the side here, like right here, this counts as terrain. Like it's not ground, it's terrain. Which is like, you know, terrain's usually reserved for like mud and dirt and stuff. I guess it's because it's icy. That's my only... But it's really fast because it's not in the water, and water gives you just a speed debuff even if you have high water speed. Oh, look at that. We get to see Cow. I'm so glad we're doing camera tricks with the Cow world record. No way. This is the first time. This is unprecedented. Jamie, Sky High Sundae, has the same record as 3 months ago. It has not been beaten. That's crazy. So we're done. We can all stop playing Sky High Sundae. It's unbeatable. Don't even try. Jamie, you have the record forever. Now this is crazy though, because this is one of the tracks where I kept seeing tiny little optimizations, and honestly, I don't even remember this. It's been so long, and this is not really what I do online, although I should learn this. This charge jump right here, boosted charge jump for an extra wall trick right here, I should definitely learn that. But like, yeah, other than that, it's a lot of really small optimizations on this track. Mainly to try to get our coin count up faster, because the 20th coin matters so much on speed combos. Where are we getting coin number 20? Wait, I'm actually not sure. Are we taking a different path here? I can't remember. Wait, the middle path. Yes, the middle. 20 coins, let's go. Edge trick. Alright, yeah, because the coins don't respawn, but when I play online, I just take the red path every time, unless it's not safe, then I take the green path, because it's about the same speed. Yeah, oh, and going around here as well. Yeah, this is stuff I totally forgot about, because a lot of the optimizations on this track is just really small things, but every little thing adds risk, which is why I don't necessarily learn a lot of these, because I'm not a time trialer, I mainly just play online, which is awesome for the content here, because I get to react to these as if it's brand new. It's good for me, it's good for you. I know a lot of viewers here are new. Merry Christmas. You just got your Switch too. I'm very happy for you. This is a very fun game. I hope you stick around. But yeah, I get to react to these as if I've never seen them before. I think we have a charge jump here. Boosted charge jump. I don't know why we don't go for this on previous laps, but that's really fun. Wario Shipyard by another. This is about 0.3 seconds faster than the last record I saw. I wonder if there's anything new here. There should be, right? There's no way you can just improve your driving by 0.3 seconds. Not in Mario Kart World. In Mario Kart World, it's a lot about the strats. So that's actually something I learned recently. Oh, 2 coins there, nice. I'll talk about that more, like tricking off the wall, like doing the charge jump onto the tree and going off the wall there. Oh wow, we barely hit the rail with that charge jump. Tricking. See, okay, that's really important. See how we barely get the trick right before hitting the pole in the air? You cannot trick on a pole just by touching it. You have to trick first. But there's no spot to trick before that except an air trick barely before touching the pole, because you have to be high enough above the ground. Super weird stuff. Oh wow, wall onto rail? I wonder why that's faster. Interesting. Okay, yeah, so see how there was no trick boost on the wall? Actually, I should have mentioned that earlier. We'll look at it again on lap 3. There was no trick boost on the wall because as soon as you touch the wall, if you immediately trick afterwards, the trick boost never comes out. And then you get a long trick boost on the ground. And just what's important about that is, how do I explain this? It's like when I talked a bit about it earlier on Crown City when you hit a pole. Usually when you charge jump, which is what we're doing at the first shortcut, when you charge jump, you get a short trick boost. But then When you hit the tree, it becomes a long trick boost. And you don't want to waste that long trick boost on the wall because you're going to spend most of the time afterwards in the air not even getting to benefit off it. So watch what happens here. Immediately shake the controller to trick off this wall here, and the boost will then instead be on the ground. And look at how long... Okay, we get an extra trick there, whatever. But the extra speed boost from that trick will happen on the ground instead of in the air, which makes it a lot faster. And that's a recent optimization I've made for even online play. And that trick right before the pole, hardly could even see it. Nice edge trick. And then going on the wall here, charging the mini turbo up to orange before jumping off. A lot of very, very small things that you may not notice watching this game for the first time. But there are so many cool optimizations, especially on this track. And so I love watching this. And then here, we used to go off the track. That was way cooler. I don't like it. We've regressed. Koopa Troopa Beach by Alberto. And as expected, a very, very small improvement. I was actually kind of worried when I saw Alberto that this was going to be the same record again, but somehow Alberto just the greatest on Koopa Troopa Beach of all time. Little counter slide right there, just like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Interesting. I imagine it's only for very rare specific circumstances where you cannot charge up the best mini turbo otherwise. Okay, then that extra mini turbo there. One thing you may have noticed about Mario Kart 8 Deluxe World Records that you haven't seen a lot here. Oh, no shortcut here. Okay. One thing you may have noticed is that we don't go for a lot of extra mini turbos, and that's part of because drifting is slow and mini turbos are not that fast. But in this case, that extra turn to the side helps to charge up this rainbow mini turbo because you get a sharper turn afterwards. Very interesting stuff. And that barely clipping the wall, clearing the entire off-road. I can't do that. That's why Alberto is the GOAT of Koopa Troopa Beach. No, Alberto's the GOAT of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but we'll also give him the Koopa Troopa Beach. Nice little counter slide there. Okay, interesting. And we get so much air there. Now, something interesting you may not have noticed that was different from before is watch how early the mushroom gets used for this charge jump. It gets used really early. And it has to do with something I kind of said earlier. Yeah, right there. So early. And it's because when you carry a speed boost into the air, it doesn't really benefit you much anymore. Whereas if you get it on the ground, it's a better boost. Alberto's always doing stuff like this, jump scaring me. Faraway Oasis by James, the Faraway Oasis Penguin GOAT, and this is improved by 1.5 seconds. Now, I've already learned the strategy that made the biggest difference here. This happened a while ago, I just hadn't made a world record reaction between then, I believe. But I love this strategy right here. So it's the one coming up right here. So we used to go to the left here. Now we go to the right, do a little trick there, and then charge them onto the rail. And see, the rail is ground. Like, we drive on the rail to get a trick off of it, and then don't even attach to the rail. And then this part, it's like, I don't know. I do that. Oh, wow. Touching a bit of ground, but it's off-road? That's weird. Could that be faster, or was that a mistake? Surely that's faster. James would not make a mistake. Anyway, yeah, so that new strategy saves like 0.4 seconds every lap, which is a massive time difference. But obviously, this record is still faster than saving 0.4 every lap. In fact, you get fewer coins going for this strategy. So in a time trial, this would actually save a little bit less than that. But this is a crazy, fun little strategy right there. And then charge jump onto the rail. Makes it easier for online too. Now this thing, I don't know, man. Hitting the wall right there like that, like, I'm not learning how to do it that way for online. I do know how to do it, but the way that I do it obviously is a lot slower than what James is doing here. Now, that was another example of an early mushroom. It's not the same utility as we saw in the previous track, but it is useful because you get a mini turbo right afterwards anyway, and you don't want to spend too much time drifting. So, yeah, if you can be in a speed boost while drifting, that's very good. So, you know, if you can choose to use the mushroom earlier or later, well, you're drifting early, and you're not drifting later, so you might as well use it while drifting. Yeah, this, I don't know, I'm baffled every time I see that. It looks the same every time he does it, but I just know that I would clip that wall and start driving backwards. I mean, it's literally happened to me before when trying to do that. Not even trying to cut it that tight. Oh wow, blue mini turbo at the end instead of orange in order to cut that turn a bit tighter. Peach Beach by Panda. This is improved by about 0.5 seconds. And honestly, I'm impressed. Because last time I had talked about how there are some tracks that are the smallest improvers. I believe Peach Beach had only improved by about 0.2 seconds, making it one of the least improved. which was kind of expected. But now 0.5, that's actually a lot. And Sky High Sundae did not improve at all, which goes to show that Peach Beach is a better track. Hang on. Are we not using the mushroom at that first grass cut? Okay, so Rod showed me the world record for this the other day because there was something really cool at the end. I guess we're not doing that anymore. I'll talk about it more later, but like that first grass cut after the water with the Shy Guys, I'm pretty sure they used a mushroom there. I think it was also the world record by Panda. Oh, wall strats! Wow, that was underwhelming, but at least it's something. Okay, so mushroom here, obviously. Mushroom early, same reason as the last track. And then, oh, going for the rails here, interesting. I remember we used to go for the ground around that. I don't know, I don't pay attention to this record too much, but I did see it recently, so I feel like I remember that. Get 3 coins here, nice. And then trick, there's like an extra bonus trick. Yeah, well, what's up with that? Extra bonus trick right there. You have to jump before it. Okay, now this... Oh, we're still going for it. What? So yeah, you could do this shroomless. I wonder how precise that is, but then where are we? Mushroom here? Blue mini turbo instead of orange? It used to be orange. What is going on in this track? Are we doing the final shortcut with the mushroom? That's so funny. We're just using it in the water. Because water is really slow and a mushroom helps, but I don't know why that's the mushroom spot. I was not expecting that. Salty Salty Speedway has not only improved by about half a second, but also had a complete combo change. And I'm so excited to talk about this one. So I'm also really glad Optic still has the record, because Optic is the first one to set a record with this new combo change. And it goes so deep. Okay, we'll watch lap 1 first because it has most of the new stuff. So, okay, get these coins here and then go for this new shortcut. This is like the 3rd or 4th different way to take that part. But then get onto the wall, go for the glider, avoid the water entirely. Get these 3 coins up here. And then, oh, lap 2, that's going to look a bit different as well. But yeah, and then get on this rail right here. Okay. There is just so much to explain right now about why there was that combo change and why this is so much faster than before. But yeah, I think this is really, really interesting. And look, no water was touched. I thought gamers don't touch grass. Now we're not touching water. We're also not touching grass. Okay, then this was like a secondary like new shortcut that was discovered as well. Like, yeah, that's crazy. 5th way to take that section. And then here, watch this. We have a little pole jump right here. We used to cut off more. Interesting. Now it cuts off less. I wonder if cutting off less is equally good because you get more of that trick boost. Anyway, then, like, this is crazy. I love this especially because this is more similar to the online meta, which means this is just much faster for online play to avoid so much of this water. So now I'll explain. Like, Toadette on the Mock Rocket has extremely high ground speed. Salty Salty Speedway has a lot of water. So before, we'd use a combo that has high ground and water speed, but the problem with that is, I guess it's just not quite as fast as if you optimized it for ground speed. And this is something that's really tough to find because you need to do all these new strategies that use so much of the ground. And then this rail too, like you're not only not drifting here, but you're getting extra tricks and it's the same speed. You just tricked into an umbrella. It's the same speed on any combo, so a slow combo is still good there. Dino Dino Jungle by this Japanese player. This is the same record as 3 months ago. Wow. Try not to say it. No, I can't help myself. I got world record on one of the hardest tracks, as now proven by it's an unbeatable record. It's so funny because like I love to say that, but it's mostly ironically at this point because you know, it was cool that I got that, but the track is completely different now. The strategies are completely insane compared to before. Yeah, I no longer have trauma from this track as well. I pretty much quit all of serious time trials because of how traumatized I got from Dino Dino Jungle. Also, that turn right there. Oh, a little mini turbo trick. That turn right there, going into the rail, is actually really tough, especially with the low handling of this combo. And that little like trick on the dinosaur side of the neck, I don't even get it. I don't even get what's going on right now. The cycle's so fast, we're going through that. I've never seen that dinosaur there before, ever. Ever. Online, that dinosaur walking under the bridge, about to be a pace lock. Never seen that one either. I'll just let you know that lap 3 shortcut, I used to run into the orange dinosaur's foot. Okay, so let's see where the orange dinosaur is located. Oh, wow, I used to run into the foot there as well, like right here. Oh, man, this is insane how much faster this is. Yeah, it is a 6-second faster record. Are we even going to see the orange dinosaur break through on the side here? Oh, it's over here. That's crazy. It's still not in the way, but yeah. Oh, there's 2 orange dinosaurs. I didn't even know that. Honestly, kind of embarrassing. Great final turn. Congrats on holding this record for so long. What an incredible record. Great question block ruins by Speezy, the GOAT of this track, and it is improved by about 0.2 seconds. I'm honestly kind of surprised that this track is still improving. That's crazy. This has to be one of the most difficult ones, pretty much since the very, very beginning of the game. And that a little rail detach, then we ride the wall here because that turn is incredibly slow, even tricking off there. I remember, this might be a really old memory, but I remember where sometimes we didn't trick off of that because it was it was just like, I don't know, too difficult or too precise, but now Speezy's just tricking off of that. So then hit the box right there, barely get around that turn. Honestly, like, it's crazy how this track has not had a lot of big innovation since the beginning, because I think people were so obsessed with how cool this track is that 2 things have happened. One is we found all of the really important strats super duper early on. Like, I want to say everything in this record was probably found in the very first week. Like, not everything, like, obviously not everything, but like a lot of the big flashy main strategies you're seeing were discovered in at least, if not the first week, maybe the first 2 weeks of this game, which is crazy. People love this track so much. I love this track so much, and I still do. But what's crazy is that a lot of, especially competitive players, are so tired of this track. We had so much fun at the start. Everyone's just tired of it. It's so funny. But yeah, when you play online, the shortcuts are very, very important. However, if you can move this fast through the track, like doing that little rail detach and do this, I'm sure you can do this one online consistently. I don't know, maybe not. It's so risky, especially if you get bumped. I don't know. I take it all back. But yeah, these, like, if you're seeing these for the first time, you're in for a treat. This game is awesome. I just don't get hyped at them anymore because I've seen these exact same shortcuts since like the first month of world record reactions. But it's incredible that this is still getting improved. And Speezy, you are the best Great Question Block Ruins player of all time so far. Next up is Cheep Falls by Flurry. And again, we're seeing the real racer because it's good on multiple terrains, and this track is very good. Well, there's a lot of road and water. I saw a counter slide at the start again. Interesting to barely get these mini turbos charged. Ride the rail there, so inconsistent, even grabbing the coin. That one's really tough. But then we're about to see Tarzan. And the way I do this is with a wall detach, but I imagine this is going to be the charge jump Tarzan. It's such a strict timing, and you barely touch that tree. Wow. And then you come at the ending section with a bit of a weird angle as well. So, yeah, multiple ways to do that shortcut. It's very, very tough the way you're seeing it in the world record, but the way that I do it online is a lot simpler. And that's part of the reason why it's very important to watch guides on this game and not just watch a world record and try to replicate everything they do, because it's not always very consistent. You can't tell how difficult it is, but with a few more coins here, I imagine this is going to be easier. Let's see where the tree contact happens. Yeah, actually running into the tree this time. That one makes a lot more sense. The first one was like a Bluetooth tree touch. The electrons touched each other. They felt the repulsion. I mean, I guess that's how all touches happen. Okay, and then, like, not even touching the water at the end there. If you barely clip the water, it's so slow. And it's so interesting how the little optimization of completely not touching water at the end there. Usually this is a game of not touching grass, but I actually thought about it a bit recently, and there's not a lot of grass in Mario Kart World. A lot of the off-road terrain is like, I don't know, it's not always grass. It's often different stuff like dirt or whatever. And here we have orange grass, which is, you know, I don't even know if that's grass. But then water is really slow in this game too, so trying to avoid water is great too. And a lot of that upper section was not actually water because we're on the side. So that's crazy, avoiding water as much as possible. You know what though? I guess it makes sense. Gamers are always trying to avoid taking a bath Dandelion Depths by this Japanese player, and it's actually the same player who got the Dino Jungle world record. Interesting. Dino Jungle is a very complex and strategy-driven world record, whereas Dandelion Depths is like, look, it's mostly just clean driving. There's not a lot of flashy stuff you can do on this track. Ooh, edge trick. That's flashy. Yeah, and a lot of it, especially when you play online, it's mostly just about that ending shortcut. So, yeah, a lot of tracks I feel like have gotten a lot more of a glow-up from just more strategies being discovered, especially stuff like Cheep Falls and Desert Hills, where we originally thought it was too mushroom shortcut heavy, but in the end, or now, they're actually a lot more fun online because of all the different routes you could take. Whereas this track, I feel like they just didn't put a lot of routes in here. Like, this could have been a really deep track, but they just didn't do it. But trying to stay close to the edge and managing the risk of that is like, ooh, this, you could do that mushroomless? Hang on, I take it all back. Everything I said was wrong. This track is great. Wait, how much does that even save? So, right, I forgot to even say, this is about 0.5 seconds faster than the last world record. So, maybe it saves like less than 0.2, and that's how much we saved every lap by doing it. That's interesting, because I have seen that mini turbo off the edge trick onto the pole before. Oh, and like tricking right at the end of that water is really tough. Anyway, I've seen that before, but it was for a feather shortcut. And I guess I haven't seen it just like done raw. Featherless. Hang on. Oh, we're doing it again. Yeah, but you like land in the off-road, so... But you do get a trick boost. Huh. It probably doesn't save that much. I wonder if it's worth going for online at all. You might even skip the items. This is how my brain works. I see a cool strategy, and I can't just leave it. I can't just leave it as a good strategy. I must think about the practical utility of it online. And I think that's that goes to show what I prioritize. I like to do cool stuff online. That's like my favorite thing to do in this game. Time trials are very cool, but they're not my favorite way to play this game, although I love to admire the level of optimization that goes into these tracks. And it would be really cool if Nintendo made time trials for the 200 plus intermission tracks. I wonder if they're ever going to do that, because that would make those tracks suddenly way better as everyone discovers what to actually do on them. Boo Cinema by Pepe. I feel like this has happened a lot. It's improved by about 0.5 seconds since the last time we saw it. That's so common. Half-second improvements. Okay, this crazy shortcut, I forgot about this. Oh, man. And then driving through the barrier right there, that's why you saw a little pause there. And I can't remember, is the barrier still there on lap 2? This is how you know how my memory works. Like, I've definitely seen this and answered this question last time. In fact, I remember doing that. But I don't remember what the answer was because I don't... Oh, mini turbo trick. Oh, you can get a good line doing that? Wait, but like, you're kind of on the backwards thing for a while. No glider! Boost panel. Boosted jar jump. That's gotta be new. I'm not entirely sure. Okay. I want to look into that. That looks so cool. Wonder how consistent it is. Oh yeah, the barriers do respawn. Okay, but like, that beginning shortcut, crazy stuff. I don't think anyone really goes for that online. Like, what you have to do, it looks like a charge jump, but actually you just kind of mushroom into the off-road. And thanks, Nintendo, for your Nintendo-intended shortcut, because that it must be, right? Because the way that you do that one is that you clip this tiny little bump in the off-road. Okay, we're skipping glider again. Where's the out of bounds? Lakitu slack it off. More like Slakitu. Okay, so... This beginning shortcut is crazy because you're going to have to go watch it in slow motion. You barely clip a tiny bit of the off-road and just trick. But then you have to... Oh, that was different. Was that better or worse? But yeah, usually you ride the wall. That time, they got so much air that... Wario's cheering. that like, there was no wall ride. That was so interesting. I don't think I've seen it done that way before. And then, of course, we have to... watch the peaches going forward or backwards to know which part to take. But like, even with the thing going backwards, I guess if you're in a trick boost there, it's still faster to take that section. Wow. That is so cool. I love that glider skip. Online, the glider is pretty safe though, but it looks really fast to go around it. Bones Burnout by Speezy, and this is only improved by about 0.1 seconds, but there was a costume change. I wonder if this one gets a speed boost on this track. You know what I've noticed about Speezy? This is also true about Great Question Block Ruins, is that Speezy likes to change combo. Or like change character, change costume. You know, I did that a lot as well. I noticed that there's multiple different ways people go about it. Some people have their favorite character and they always use that one, same costume. And then some players like to switch it up every once in a while. And that's what I did a lot in my, like all my Hyrule Circuit time trial bests in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe were pretty much all different characters, like all the best characters. I had like 5 choices of what character to use. And now we have costumes too. Oh, that trick was so early. I don't know if I've seen that specific trick spot before. Okay, boosted charge jump. Charge jump. Get an orange boost before tricking off. Extra trick here. Yep, nice. I still remember back when that wasn't really used much. Oh, wow. 3? 3 edge tricks? Mini turbo trick? Yeah, you want to go off of all of these. Anytime you go into the air, you want to have a speed boost if possible, because I'm not sure if I fully understand how this works, but the way it seems to me is that if you leave a surface with a speed boost, you kind of just keep that speed boost, even if the speed boost actually has ended. And then what happens is like your cart instantly starts to decelerate in the air, which always happens no matter what. But if you're going to decelerate starting from speed boost speed, then obviously that's a lot better. So I think that's part of why we're doing the mini turbo trick there, because you can barely squeeze it out. But I guess on the next ones you can't. Yeah, barely get that mini turbo trick there. Oh, yeah, right. Okay, I think that's why we go for the wall. We're done going for coins, maybe. I don't know. And then that wall gives you a speed boost as you leave the next ledge. Interesting stuff. I could be completely wrong about the reason why we're doing this stuff, but I mean, someone will let me know in the comments. I have a relatively good knowledge about the game. I'm not going to get everything right, but it's fun to theorize about this stuff. Everyone's doing this at the end. Moo Moo Meadows, Cow's own track. She's killing it. Always holding the record because of that terrain speed bonus that we talked about earlier. Part of the reason why I actually enjoy that different characters have these different bonuses, especially because we have enough meta good characters. But this allows for time trials to have some variety instead of being Yoshi every single time. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Trauma. That's so crazy every time I see it, even though I know what's going to happen. And by the way, this is about 0.4 seconds faster than the previous record. Kinzo, the Moo Moo Meadows goat, and Cow, the Moo Moo Meadows goat. The Moo Moo Meadows cow, I should say. Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm going to explain those 2 shroomless shortcuts. Oh, yeah, we haven't used a mushroom yet, by the way. If you were autopiloting watching this, you must have assumed we used 2 mushrooms by now. But we did it. Cow bounce for the coin. Amazing stuff. So this one right here, same for the next one. It's kind of the same concept. You get a trick off this like hidden trick spot and then do a boosted charge jump. And that's carrying the boost from the trick into the charge jump. Okay, here we finally use a mushroom. And then we're going to see the exact same thing right here. And it's a little bit more nuanced than that. So this one is just your standard boost charge jump. It's still really, really tough to do, especially to get the trick beforehand. But the tree one that is closer to the beginning of the lap is actually a lot harder because you need to clip just the right amount of grass to slow you down. Otherwise, you boosted charge jump from the wrong spot. That's how precise some of this stuff is, and I would not go over this stuff online, but lap 3 is even different. You get an extra coin right there. Oh, look at that, look at that. That's the same as the ending, where you have to clip a bit of the grass. Otherwise, you're going to charge jump from the wrong spot. You'll charge jump from the later grass. So the clipping of a bit of the grass actually helps. It's not slowing you down. It's actually necessary for the shortcut to work. And finally using a mushroom here to clip a later part of the wall so we get a more straight alignment through the track. This is such a cool, optimized track. Choco Mountain by Mikkel, also known as 12th. And this beginning shortcut with the start boost, I know we're using some braking here to get a better line, like holding B a little bit, I believe. I don't really do that one because I like to get items at the start of the race, but that's a really cool shortcut. Maybe the only shortcut where we're using the start boost to take a shortcut. And in this, orange mini turbo, barely charged up, barely get a charge jump. Incredible stuff. That one is so unbelievably tough. Oh! Wow. Almost a pace lock there. This chocolate ball, almost a pace lock. That charge jump, I'm pretty sure is new. The left trick on the yellow rail. And then we're going to do that beginning shortcut again on the next lap using an orange mini turbo instead. So, you barely have time to charge this. Oh, I almost thought they weren't going for it, but It's just because the line, wow, I'm embarrassed. That's like 10 times better than I do it when I go for that one online. And then here, this is the toughest thing on the track though, in my opinion. The toughest shortcut, to barely charge jump over that. Wow. That's the second biggest shortcut on the track, and we're taking it shroomless. Crazy stuff, because it's a boosted charge up using the orange mini turbo speed to carry it over the ramp during the charge jump. Okay, so part of what makes this next shortcut really tough, especially with the line that they're taking, is like how tight this line is. You actually have to release the orange mini turbo a little bit before the end of the light chocolate. Yeah, if you release it at the very end, it completely cancels your drift. I guess because it counts you as being in the dark chocolate. So that's part of what makes it really tough, but low handling actually helps. I think low handling might help with this shortcut too, because with low handling, when you try to turn sharper for a charge, to charge the mini turbo, you actually just don't turn as sharp. So like low handling is kind of like helping with charging mini turbos, like the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe mini turbo stats. And that's something important to think about when you pick a combo for these tracks, is that sometimes having a high handling is better, like with sharp turns, and sometimes having low handling is better if it's a really tough mini turbo to charge. Toad's Factory by F. You almost didn't improve it. F only improved this by 0.05 seconds. That's crazy. Well done. Yeah, I feel like there's not too much to be improved on this track besides small optimizations, and obviously this is a very tough one to drive in time trials, and you will see in a moment why. But since we're only collecting coins here, makes it easier than trying to manage coins and items when you play online. But this little section to try and, oh man, like avoiding the backwards thing because of riding on that little part, that's so difficult. And then shortcut right here. The sliver of boost panel. Getting a boost going off that ramp. And then that mini turbo, probably not faster, but then it gives you the alignment to barely charge up this rainbow mini turbo, and that is faster. So that's a really, really cool optimization, similar to ones I've talked about before as well. Okay, so doing boosted charge jumps there as well. Staying so close to these walls is just unbelievably tough, and it's so testing in time trials that it puts you on the backwards conveyor twice. I wonder if it was always like that, or it's just the players are so fast now that we are hitting that backwards conveyor belt twice. Okay, so this ending ramp is going to look a bit different on lap 3, because this whole sequence is like only necessary to charge this rainbow mini turbo, I think. I don't know. I'm never 100% sure of the stuff I say here, except for the times I am, which is most of the time. But it's just like there's so much to know in time trials, and there's so, like, you get to the part where you're not even talking about big concepts in this game necessarily. You get to the point where you're talking about the minute little differences between each track and the tiny little things that matter. But yeah, this is just going to be a trick off the side here. Yep, that's it. Very well done. Bowser's Castle by this Japanese player. This is improved by about 0.7 seconds. Actually impressive. And one thing about Bowser's Castle is the beginning shortcut will always be different every time you watch the world record again. Oh, we're doing this one now. Oh, wait, what? Oh, it's a little bit different. Okay, so doing a forward trick at the end to barely touch the blue sign. Interesting. Yeah, this is another reason why you do not try to learn all the strategies from world records, because you don't go for that one online. That does not look consistent. Or maybe it is, I don't know, but that's not the way you should be doing it. Okay, then this thing too. Oh man, this is crazy. I still remember back in the day when we used a mushroom over that lava cut, but now we use the mushroom here. And that shortcut, honestly, kind of tough, because it's too big for one mushroom, and if you barely don't quite make it, then the lava eats your drift and you just fall off the track. Okay, is it the same version here? No, it's different. Wow. I'm never gonna get it. I'm never gonna understand. But I actually did do a variation of the beginning lap 1 shortcut online once, because I got a head bounce and it completely screwed me up, and I had to go for an improvisation of a strategy I rarely ever use. It's super inconsistent, but it's so fast. That's maybe the fastest I've ever done that shortcut online, and it's because I got a head bounce, so I had to improvise. And so, you know, I do say very often that even though you watch crazy stuff in world records, and maybe some of these are worth going for online, it's still very important to know basic strategies, just in case, you know, a rail gets trapped, or you get bumped, or you get hit, and then you have to go for something different. So that's part of the beauty about Mario Kart World online races, is that you have to know so many different paths, and it really helps. So I've been very fortunate to be following and practicing this game since the very start of the game, and I've learned each of these as they showed up. But with that being said, it's also very important sometimes to know the most advanced, completely impractical, inconsistent, difficult strategies, because what if there's a situation where somehow that would benefit you? And, you know, you wouldn't go for it normally, but you would sometimes because you're in just the right circumstance. And that's part of why I love playing online. There's like an infinite number of possibilities. Acorn Heights by Demon. And this is one of my best tracks. So let's see if I can learn anything new here. I love the strategies on this track, especially the ending shortcuts. However, in time trials, I think we're only going to see one version of it. Okay, this little coin strategy here, all that just for one extra coin, but especially at the lower coin counts, each one matters so much. That little glider technique there. I will definitely be making a guide on Acorn Heights soon. There's so much to this track, especially this ending shortcut. But yeah, this version, hit that little right trick in the air, barely attached to the wall because coins are low, but there's going to be more coins at this vine here. And I think like we'll get 3 more here, and then I think the shortcut should look a little bit less crazy on the next lap. Because with 4 coins, you really can only barely make it. That's one thing I've learned. I thought the shortcut was inconsistent at first, but then, boosted charge jump to carry that speed boost. That is one of the most important parts about carrying a speed boost into the air. Because if you try that right trick, you will just fall off the track unless you had a speed boost coming up to it. Okay, now this one should look more lenient, so let's see. Let's see if it looks that way. Okay, we clip a low part of the wall because they're trying to go further to the left for a better line, but as you can see, like, there was a lot more leniency in being able to make that. And because we take that shroomless, the ending tiny little grass cut with a boosted charge jump is actually the best mushroom spot on the track, which is so funny to me. I remember back when the world record was using a mushroom through the ending, and like even when shroomless versions were discovered, the world record was still using a mushroom through the ending. But then now we get this really cool one at the ending that is kind of dependent on coin count, and then we have a kind of barely mushroom shortcut at the very end. I find that so funny when a track has a clear, obvious mushroom spot, but because we can do it shroomless so fast, the mushroom spot gets moved to somewhere that doesn't make any sense. Mario Circuits by LeBron, the GOAT. Just kidding, it is Jenswa, the GOAT of this track. This track's always going through its shortcut revolution, except when it's not, and then it barely improves. But then, like, okay, I think I saw this. Yeah, charge jump onto... That's crazy. You can actually cut off way more by continuing to ride on the top, but it puts you on a horrible alignment. Oh, you can go so high there. What? Since when could you... I don't even understand. One thing I don't understand about this track is how are we charge jumping so high? I think it happens again right at the end of the track. And this is a crazy amount to cut with 2 mushrooms. You have to be so precise with that because you can easily lose your drift in the off-road if your mushroom just barely ends. Love that strategy. Saves so much time. And then trick onto here. Yeah, like, one thing I love about this track is... This is one thing I just love about the way that they've done a lot of retro tracks in this game is repurposing. Like, this stuff was always here, right? The walls. Oh, and then this shortcut shroomless for some reason. The fact that it was discovered this late that's fast, I guess, like, just no one tried it. Because it looks so stupid, but it's actually really fast. And then, like, when you get onto these walls, I love that the walls got pulled in closer from previous games. And it not only makes the shortcut smaller, which is more balanced, but you also get these really cool shortcuts where you can jump onto the walls. Perfect design, in my opinion. Peach Stadium by Jack, and this is improved by about 0.6 seconds. Interesting. There was not that much to be improved, in my opinion, like, as far as I could tell on this track. So I'm curious what got improved, because this track, you know, it's kind of like Dandelion Depths in that it is relatively simple, but... Oh, you know what? It might... Are we finally using that one shortcut? I'm pretty sure I didn't see it last time, right? We're actually doing it. No way. No way. Okay, let me tell a little story about that. Oh, this thing is cool as well. So when that shortcut was first discovered, I thought it was really cool. So I was like, oh, is this something we're going to be able to do? It doesn't look that bad. I tried for an hour and a half And I got it once. Obviously, I'm not very good at it. That was my first time doing it. But, like, come on. No shortcut should be that hard. I wonder if that was even intended to be possible. But I feel like it probably was. The fact that that wall is not out of bounds. So that is such a cool shortcut. I love that. And are we going for it multiple times? Because I will be shocked. There's no way. Really? Okay, that kind of explains the leaderboard. I noticed that the previous world record had only been beaten by one person, and it is Jack. No one else has a better time than the last world record, so this one was like close to not having been beaten, and we're still doing 3 edge tricks there. That's crazy. That's a lot of guts. Also, we're at 1 coin this whole time. We're not grabbing coins. Interesting. I guess that kind of makes sense. There are not a lot of coins to grab. But really, 1? Surely it's not that far out of the way to grab that coin on our left right there. Maybe it is. Like, the high speed combos, unless you're going to get your coins all the way to 20, it's not necessarily worth it to grab a lot of the first few after... Wait, 3? We do this 3 times? That's so impressive. And honestly, the more impressive part is the rest of this run is played like a bot. Like, this is done perfectly. I mean that as a full compliment. Like, we're still going for triple edge trick there after hitting that 3 times in a row. You are insane, Jack. That is so impressive. And finally, we have Rainbow Road by Technical. This track has only improved by about 0.3 seconds for being one of the longest tracks in the game. But this is always so impressive. Even if it doesn't get improved, I love watching this one because it's just... Remember when it was crazy that, like when Technical got the first ever sub 1 minute record, and then now we're just casually doing edge tricks everywhere? Look, I guess there was that one patch that made it so that it was easier to get this. Oh wow, double edge trick. Because they buffed trick boost, so whatever. Hold down in the glider there, very important. Going so much faster there. Yeah, so it's so cool just in general to like not talk about this run for a moment here, but especially what I saw with Peach Stadium, there were a lot of strategies that were known to be faster, but some of the strategies in this game are so unbelievably difficult. And that's my first time seeing it in a world record. I don't know if there were world records before this where someone got it only 1 time, but to see it 3 for 3 is insane and still have the rest of the run go perfectly. That's how optimized some of these runs are getting at this point. It's just awesome to see because I remember at the beginning of the game seeing some of the crazy strategies, and now I'm not even reacting to them because there's always a new, crazier strategy that got discovered. Love it. And then there's a crystal shortcut here as well, which is not done in the world record because the world record, I believe, does have better water speed, and getting those 2 coins is super duper worth it. Remember, speed combos, you want to get to 20 coins as soon as possible, otherwise you rapidly start to lose time around the time when you're missing just a few. So yeah, 17 coins. It only gives you like not that much of the speed boost up to 20, and that shortcut I'm not hyping up because I've already seen that before. But I think I heard that there was a new thing discovered later on in like a cloudy section. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not completely sure where it happens, but I think it's like the boost panels before the second last glider. We'll just have to see. That's gonna happen in a while. Yeah, using the cannon glider time there to get over to the right side, slight optimization. That trick is crazy. I love that trick though. It's probably how you get to carry a boost from that ramp. Otherwise you go off the ramp raw with no boost, and that's really bad. It's kind of like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in that way. Trick off nothing, yup. Oh, mini turbo trick. Okay. I mean, like I need to memorize that. I'm not going for that shortcut online. I only do it if I have a feather. Okay, then this next section, important. This looks random, but you do have to hold down in the glider here to go up. And then shortly after the boost, you mushroom right there. Okay. I thought it happened a bit earlier. But yeah, if you have a golden mushroom or triple mushrooms, it's so good to use right there. For some reason, the glider is really slow there. And so if you have speed boosts, it helps so much. All right. Thanks, Technical. The goats on Rainbow Road, you can do whatever you want. This is so many edge tricks. And we're just used to it at this point. But like, this is crazy. You have to trick the game into thinking you're about to go off the track. Literally a trick, get it? Okay, are we doing the thing here? No, this is normal. Okay, sorry for hyping you up about a potential new strategy that I think it saves like 0.1 seconds, but we're gonna do this. I love this part at the end. Oh, wait, that's different. It's not a charge jump anymore. It's like almost an edge trick. You just trick and then go onto the wall. That's something that tough happening right at the end. I guess technical is no stranger to that. We've seen that many times. Hi, Wiggler. I saw that wave. And then edge trick. Wow. Incredible. And at 354, that is so much faster than near the start of the game. I had a great time watching all of these world records today, and I think my main takeaway is that even though these records are getting so optimized, the new discoveries are still coming in quick. They're not really slowing down, and one thing that I think is so amazing about this is that even though I don't follow the time trials too closely, what excites me the most is when we discover ways to do these strategies more consistently for online play, so I can destroy children across the world doing a crazy strategy they didn't even know about. And that's what brings me the most joy out of anything in this game. Although it has its flaws, I think Mario Kart World is an amazing game and it is only getting better. As of more recently, I am also working on track guides to help you get better at the most difficult tracks in this game, especially strategies you need to know to win in real races. Not all the insane techniques that are too risky, stuff you should actually be doing. So I think now is a great time to learn and improve at Mario Kart. And I can't wait to see what these records look like after a year of the game being out.